The viola is looking good so far, but I had an issue with the back. And so originally I had this painting idea on the inside that was an ombre kind of fade that went through the whole inside of the instrument. And I thought it'd be really beautiful and kind of vibrant. And once I saw it on the wood though, it was too vibrant. It didn't look right. Didn't fit the project, anything else. So I had to scrape all that painting off and recondition kind of that surface. And anyhow, I struggled to think about a new idea because I kind of hung on to that for so long. And then I thought about, I said, I was talking to my wife about Marcel, and I was talking about this painting that I always think about with him. And it's a painting by David Caspar Friedrich. I'll put it up one of these places. And it's a very famous painting. But I like that painting because you're watching someone look at something. That you are not the person in the painting, but you can imagine yourself being there, but really it's a layer of watching someone watch something or watching someone experience something. And in the same vein, I think about it all the time when I drive back from Virginia, where we have family, into Kentucky. And Kentucky feels so much like home to me, but we pass over this thing on Interstate 64, if you're around here, exit 119 coming from West Virginia. You can feel it change topography, and then you see these hills. And I know the hills look different now because of, agriculture and everything else, but I always think about, the people that saw it first, indigenous tribe or explorers or whatever their first experience was. Someone walked over that hill, and for the first time they saw something that was just vast. And they saw this kind of adventure or this kind of, maybe it was dread, I don't know. But they saw a new horizon that they didn't see before. And so I keep thinking about this painting when I think about Marcel passing away and who he's left behind. And in a way, it's a different adventure for his name and where he is now. And so, but obviously I don't want to copy a painting. That's plagiarism and inappropriate and whatever else is. But I can't appropriate the guy. So I stole, in an artist sense, the little guy because I thought he was fitting, but I altered him. He has a cane, a walking stick, and I removed that specifically for Marcel because I don't think where he is, he needs a chair right now or needs assistance. And so, anyhow, I changed the guy, and then the background is actually a photograph by one of Marcel's mentees and friends, Hannah. And I met Hannah and Ian when we came to Alaska. We had breakfast with them and a meal with them. And I got to overhear them talk with Connie and Marcel about cave mapping and exploration and stories and what they're doing. And it was very clear that they had a big impact on each other's lives. And I started looking at Hannah's and Ian's adventures, and they're crazy. It's this exact thing I was talking about, going into a place that no one has been before, or going into a place that few have been, and being explorers and being adventurers. And so I thought it was very fitting to use a photograph from Hannah and Ian, mixed with this idea from Caspar David Friedrich, that I think is quite nice. So anyhow, I'll show you where it is right now. Doesn't look like much. I was going to print it inside, but because of the shape, to get a very nice clean print of what I imagined, it wasn't going to work out very well. If you've seen the Tally-Ho project, where I made an instrument for Leo Goulden in the Tally-Ho project, I printed the inside of that one with a map, a nautical map. But if it moved or if it was off, you couldn't tell because it was mainly textured, right? It was a map. It wasn't all that intense. But this one needed to be spot on. So what I did was actually cut a stencil of a halftone of that image, and it's underneath this right now. So as this cures and dries, you can see the guy right in there. I just saw him. Now I'm obsessing about that. Anyways, yeah, there he is. So anyhow, it's underneath here. I'm waiting for this to cure, and then I can take off the stencil to remove the other color of the white under there. So that's where this one is right now. But I'm excited about it. It's getting close. But while that dries, I got some other things to do for the viola, some peg fitting and some other things. But I thought I'd update you guys also on another project, just because if you guys like this stuff, it's kind of cool. And I'm not filming a lot of builds that I do. I just film kind of special projects and things. But I have a normal standard violin, little fiddle, but it's got the coolest back. It's a weird piece of walnut I've never seen before. It's stable, but it doesn't look like it in terms of it's regular walnut, but it has spalting. If it focuses, there you go. Regular walnut, and it has some spalting in here. And then the other part of the walnut is not sapwood, and it's not punky like it's rotted. It just bleached out. So anyways, so I'm making and working on a fiddle in the background when these things are drying and stuff. But that one will be done soon too as well. Maybe we'll feature it in audio form or something. But anyways, just an odd update for the back. We'll get back to watching some working. But just when I show you this reveal of a back, you know that it's been going on in the background for a month now. So anyhow, let's move on. Here's the outside of our pretty mountain ash back. And then this is now the inside. So I think that turned out pretty sharp. I don't know how it's turning out on film in terms of the halftone pattern, but you can definitely see the guy standing on that photograph we talked about. And up close, here you go. So looks like that. So this will get sealed in to inside of our viola body. Here's the first time seeing it together. That's what it's going to look like. So let's go ahead and get a label printed off and put inside, and then I'll be able to glue on the back. work is a little more difficult than normal because if you all remember, we have so many different layers in here, and not only does the grain switch direction, but it's pretty squirrely wood, so there's no real way. Let's try that again, less like Elmer Fudd. There's no real way to predict the grain sometimes in here. Like on a spruce or normal maple, it'd be fine because I can just trace it, change direction, trace it. And I'm just using a Kirdashi. But like when I cut this, I have to change every so often trying to find that grain right pattern so I don't split anything and it cuts cleanly. And sometimes there is no good choice. So I'm gonna go back in here and file it. So I'm just taking the meat off all the way around.